Hello, this is Mysterious Cave Sound. This is Seal Chan, and I'm recording episode 6 of my Minecraft long play Let's Play. And I have found myself in the Community Storage Research Lab, and it's getting dark, so why don't I do the good thing here and go to sleep. Oh. Let's check out things here before I get started. Where is that zombie? Oh, over there. That's fine. Not gonna worry about that. Anyway, I have completed round 6 of gameplay, and so I want to do an episode here to summarize what was accomplished. I had 3 episodes that focused on wow, hold on. I'm seeing some interesting stuff back here. Anyway, 3 episodes of special videos where the first two were about the build of the builder's workshop, and the second one was about establishing paths to connect sections of the village together. But I have a feeling we may be discovering some new architecture. I did add someone as a player to the server who looks like they may have initiated an interesting build. Anyway, well, let's just refer to my list here, and we'll amuse ourselves with interesting distractions caused by the participation of others. So again, on my community announcement board, I don't know if I'd mentioned this before, but Grim was the first one to find a diamond. I believe I have it stored away here in the chest. I do. He gifted it to me as the mayor of the town, so thank you, Grim. I still have a post up for any ideas for the names of the village. I open that up to any viewers who actually watch these episodes. Feel free to suggest a name, especially if you've watched the episodes in full, or at least the evenly numbered ones. So let's cover what I did for round 6. First of all, the builder profession got to do the build for his own workshop, and also he did some establishing of residences, lighting, and repair the well. I always like to come here in my videos kind of as the central spot. You can look around up each of the main roads from the village. We did finally repair the hill. This is the second time due to creeper infestation that I've had to do this. So just forward key around the village, up half slabs. That's my goal. All the roads should be this way, and I've got the well back in good working order with nice acacia. I forget what these blocks are called. They're bark on all sides. It could be wood. But yeah, so anyway, that was good. So let's take a quick look at the builder's workshop, which is again detailed in episodes 5.1 and 5.2, where I show the process of actually building it. I was thinking of making it different. It turned out is that basically I did an oak wood version of the community storage and research lab building. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, and you can watch the 5.1 and 5.2 videos to just watch me actually put this whole thing together. The idea here is that the builder's workshop is where I go as the player in the role of builder before I do a build. Over here is the workshop, so the crafting table being the primary crafting machine currently installed. Of course, we have a furnace here as part of the standard issue fireplace. The chest on the left of the crafting table is where raw materials are stored. These raw materials generally come from community storage building, which is just behind it on the right here. But they can also come if the builder determines they need a bunch of something by directly going out to the mines or finding some trees that are planted in the village and chopping those down and replanting them. So raw materials go here. Crafting materials from that, whatever leftovers are available will go in here. So these are all crafted blocks, cut sandstone, acacia wood, both crafted, and these obviously as well. This is where just the leftover bits go. Now, even if I'm going to do some kind of a repair or a real small job, I just want to come to here first, check out this chest. Do I need some signs? Oh, I got some signs in here, maybe some stairs. This is where I can go and look first for that kind of material. Otherwise, I can come over here and say, okay, well, I need to work with these materials, put them in my inventory, craft blocks from them, and then go out to the build site and get the job done. What was that? Something burning over there. It caught my eye. Alright, so we have all that. The other part of the workshop is the showroom. And the showroom is like the workshop, just this kind of 3x3 area on the side. And this chest contains blocks that are officially part of the builder's available materials. Now what we have is the oak log and the oak wood planks, and they are here because in round 6 I completed research on crafting recipes that utilize the oak log and the oak wood planks. And having completed that research and identifying these blocks as building blocks or placeable blocks, I put one of each of those 2 blocks into this chest in the builder's workshop. The idea being, in the sense of a light role play, is that you come in as a customer and say, hey, I need something built. What are the materials that you have that I can choose from for a build? And the builder would point to this chest as kind of like the catalog. Now, as research continues, more and more blocks will be entered into here, and this will be a record not only of those raw materials that are placeable blocks that I can farm or otherwise obtain. It will also be a place where placeable blocks that must be crafted are put, that I can also readily obtain. Obviously, if I have oak trees planted in the village and they're growing and regrowing, I have an oak tree farm I like to call a grove. And given that, obviously, since I have a crafting table, I can also supply oak wood planks. So the oak tree grove and the forester who harvests those trees basically is the supplier for these building materials. So that's kind of the idea here, right? It's you start with raw materials, you obtain them through the labor of someone who is skilled at procuring those raw materials, and then you have other professions like the builder who would then, say, obtain those materials from the forester, let's say in this case, and use them in his or her own shop. So for all the raw material collectors, I've decided that when they collect things, they're just going to put them in the community storage building. So mining, the miner, the forester, the farmer, they're coming in here and they're putting their various blocks. Like here's where the forester has some blocks, and maybe I can just kind of do this. So if the forester puts his blocks in here, this is what I will probably designate as kind of a, this is the farmer, would put these materials in here, and I'm going to have a profession called the gardener who's going to put in these plants, maybe grass and that sort of thing. The hunter currently is considered to be the source for all of these mob drops, whether hostile or passive. And you know, in here, the digger with his shovel, this is where he puts his materials. The miner comes here and puts materials, and perhaps another category here would be the ore. The miner's ores. So you know, really, these two rows would be the same profession. It looks like someone took the iron and the copper that had accumulated here, and perhaps even the coal, and has used them, which is totally fine. Yeah, so again, I'm kind of covering things that I've covered somewhat before, but through repetition and through example, I just want to show that how this process works. And I'm going to continue this process. And you'll see how it will lead to a progression that I think will be very satisfying. Anyway, that's the Builder's Workshop. There were a number of professions that obtained the right to have their own residence, including the explorer, the miner, and what I've now called the road builder. I referred to as the transportation engineer previously. The explorers did some work in this originally in discovering the village. So just me walking until I found a village, I said, okay, well, I was the explorer. What else? We had the miner, of course, has done work in obtaining stone from the cavern area, and we also have the other mine shaft entry area, which is the domain of the miner. And the road builders, you know, the one that's done the work in town here of making these roads where you don't have to jump, plus also building pathways, such as this little path in town, and as you'll see here in a moment, some paths outside of town. Alright, so also I did have the builder go around town and just put down these lights. These lights are modeled after what you might find in Acacia Village. I believe it's cropland or some natural generation. I just kind of went around the existing roads and put out lights. I wasn't too concerned about totally lighting up the ground. I just wanted to make a definite improvement, reduce mob spawning. You'll find I'm kind of a gradual person. He doesn't like to just fully complete something, but rather kind of an 80% completion. And I think that if you've been watching my videos, you may be beginning to understand why I do that. Again, I've covered the well. We've got that repaired. So that for round 6 was the work of the builder. I kind of put these signs out of order. We did the builder. I'm going to go to explorer. I'm going to follow the alphabet. As the explorer, actually, let's go up Lolbit's tower here. It's just such a, hello kitty, just such a nice view. I mean, you need this big long distance view. This is the place to go. Although I do need to add some dirt blocks at the top to get over the protective wall, I suppose you could call it. So let's use our favorite dirt blocks to pillar up a bit. Alright, so let's just kind of look out. This is west. We'll come to that last. What I really did is I we're in the savanna biome with probably savanna plateau, obviously. Um, Whoa, look at that. That's awesome. So there's Desert Temple. So I literally walked the boundary, the outer boundary of this biome, across the desert. I forget what the other bordering biomes were, but I made full circle. I followed a river at one point and walked the entire outer boundary of this savanna biome until I made it back, and I penetrated the interior in certain areas. Um, yeah, the biome goes a bit beyond what you can see here, and I eventually made it back here. What I discovered was that pretty much it looks like this. I find this biome is very attractive. I love these plateaus and these lower flat areas, and that actually right over here, and I think we might be able to see maybe just the river, but in a very short distance from here there's the ocean. So if we want to have a port associated with this village or near to this village, that is the direction to go. And I'm suspecting that this village isn't going to get too much bigger quickly. I do want to again expand to other villages and connect them, but I think that maybe we might have a separate little port off in this direction connected to this village by a road. And yeah, so doing that work, I also just was doing some initial exploration for how we might connect the upper village up here with the rest of the village down here. And obviously one solution that someone came up with is to build this very long ramp. That certainly does the trick, and maybe we'll take a closer look at that. But I found another solution, and I think I'm going to leave that for when we look at what the road builder did. So let's come down off this tower and take a look. Jump. Excuse me, kitty. Okay. So anyway, let's just continue down the list. The farmer, the forester, the hunter all did efforts at collecting resources. So we have a number of items on my list that we're trying to get a whole stack of and put into community storage. But the only of those three professions, the only one to achieve a full stack was the hunter. We finally got our full stack of rotten flesh, and in fact by the end of the round I almost had 2 stacks. Let's see if we can see them in here. Yeah, basically we're 1 shy of 2 stacks because we're not using rotten flesh or anything at the moment. I'm certainly not snacking on it. I do have bread now, so I'll be eating that. Yeah, so with the successful completion of that goal, the hunter making good use of what appeared to be a natural kind of zombie fly trap. We'd have zombies coming in through here, and they'd swarm around this little hut here that contains our last remaining villager. He's still in there. He's done an excellent job of being bait, and there have been any number of times, and you've seen them in my videos if you watch. I come right over here, there's 3 or 4 zombies, and I just take care of them because they're focused on this guy, not me. And it just turned into an easy, almost like a mob spawner, source of rotten flesh. So we achieved that goal, which is great. And one of the consequences of that is that rotten flesh became a resource that this village can officially obtain at will, and that allowed me to place rotten flesh amongst other items in the crafting research chest, which means that we can research what can be done with rotten flesh and start doing that in the village. So, oh, excuse me, wrong key. Anyway, so that was cool. We'll expect to see more of that sort of thing as the rounds continue. Now the miner, we went down into the cavern system. I think I may need to start visiting our mine shaft as well, but down into our cavern system, and got some paths here I'll talk about. Oh, looks like a creeper went off right there. Whoa, here we go. Anyway, I came down here looking for diorite and for granite. I mined out everything that I could, ore-wise and such. I think I kind of worked out this direction. We kind of went in a circle here. I've lit all this up. And I must have found most of the granite and the diorite perhaps in, well, we've got, this is diorite here. I probably, like here, I suspect, I came in and I saw some diorite on the edge here, so I thought, okay, I'm going to do a 7x7 room in here, and just by doing that I achieved a full stack of diorite pretty easy. Probably took out some coal here, or maybe copper, and yeah, so that's the process. So I kind of expanded this cavern system a little bit, not too much, just as much as I needed. And I could take diorite out of here and rebuild the staircase, but that would be so much cobble or whatever, that would be another whole job, so I'm kind of leaving that diorite. I'm going to head back to the village before I create an unwanted scene. One of the things I think many people understand is that you have a spawn radius around you if you're in a completely dark situation. Something like 22 blocks. No mob will spawn within that distance. And, the fact of the matter is that some mobs can sight you off further than 22 blocks, so, you can spawn 23 blocks away, see that you're there, and come right at you. Or if you're trying to get from point A to point B in the dark, you're gonna cause your presence is going to cause mobs to spawn over 22 blocks away from you, and then you're going to walk into them. So, but I figure if I run back to the village quick enough, if there's any dark spots in here, they probably won't have time to spawn. Alright, anyway, so point of all that is I did some mining in round 6, and we were able to obtain a full stack of diorite and granite, which added those two materials to those which this village can officially obtain. And so we have up here diorite and granite as additional materials that are ready for crafting research. So moving on now to the final piece of this is the road builder. So what did the road builder do this time? And I actually have the idea of the road builder is working out of the same workshop as the regular builder, but I wanted two different professions because I want the road builder and the builder not to have to do too much work. So I kind of split that job in half. So the builder does the buildings and the gates and the gates and the walls and that sort of thing. The road builder does the roads and the paths and bridges when it comes to that. So that way, there's a lot of easy maintenance stuff that goes on, and I don't want the builder to have this ginormous list of work. So I just split that job in half. But what we got here is, first of all, I wanted to establish paths to connect different parts, these different builds that have been done outside of the village as it stands. So the original path was out to the caverns here where I started doing my mining. I created a spur to this area because not only was this carved out, but it was actually carved out some more. Someone came in here and decided it was good for mining resources. But some of the other established farms. Now this here is brand new. I suspect that our new member P.E. Morrill may have built this. And we have Horsey and the staircase all the way up to that, I believe that's a brewing stand, a brewer's workshop, naturally generated. So, but in any case, I built this path, kind of move along this way, so we can come out to the farms that we have going here. Looks like a wandering trader dropped some llamas into the chicken farm. And over here is just the other animals, the sheep and the llama that have been collected so far. Heard I picked up an egg. I'm going to throw it in here. And I extended this out to go past the wheat farm and the melon farm, both of which were fully harvested in round 6 and have already grown back. It's a little bit of a mishap there, probably a mob that wandered through there. And I also extended the path to go to Foxy's secret base, which is, or evil base, let's call it, which has had some improvements. It looks nice. Grim also volunteered to fill in the creeper holes, so we have a much nicer looking landscape again. It's probably a lot like what it used to look like before the creepers got away with it. Now, one thing that's not shown here is that the mineshaft entrance building is now officially within the boundaries of the outer dirt moat. So it's in the village, but this wall hasn't been removed yet. This could totally be taken down here because we should be safe inside the walls. And maybe a bit of a gap here. We might have had some creeper problems going on here. So in round 7, obviously, I'm going to be coming through and kind of cleaning that up. We're going to have this road obviously extend to here, and we should build a new gate so we can just walk right through it and get out. It's obviously where the road belongs, I think. Oops. See if I can jump up here. Yeah, I keep missing it. There we go. And anyway, so yeah, plus we've had some activity going on. Let's take a walk over this way before I show you the final thing I wanted to show. Grim, I think Lulbit, oh, look at that. Nice. We got a door. That's kind of interesting. I kind of like this raised grass path. So Lulbit found this temple and then told Grim about it. And Grim said he's just thinking about making it into his place. But yeah, so this has been connected up with the road. I'm just going to take a peek and see if Grim has moved in. Look through his ceiling. Hope he doesn't mind. Yeah, there's a bed down there. I wonder if you could jump on that. I'm going to go ahead. This might not be the best idea, but here we go. Yeah, a little bit of damage. But yeah, cool. Yeah, looks like he's moved in. This is a pretty sweet looking place. I mean, just the desert temple. is a nice thing. Not just a place to get your loot. It's also nice, decent real estate. Okay, so hey, let's head back. It's really fun to be able to come onto the server and just see what other people are doing. Sometimes that doesn't always fit in with what I was gonna do, but I think it's important that you make room for other people to do their thing, and if it kind of steps on your toes, well, you know what? It's alright. Just go with it. One of the things, in that sense, oh, PE Moral just joined, is that we have had some additional creeper issues, right? So it may not be obvious, but the wood pillars and part of the roof here was damaged by a creeper explosion. This got filled in, so that went on my fix-it list. I think Lulbit got tired of invading mobs and went ahead and upgraded the wall here. Now, I talked to her about how I liked the gap, but and it was just a great resource, and you've seen that in the videos if you've been watching. That is a great little pond system down there. You get your axolotls. If you stay up, you get glow squid that spawn in there pretty regularly. So it's a kind of an excellent source of those mobs. And you've watched as I've shot creepers as they tried to come in, and killed skeletons who apparently they get in there into the pond and they won't shoot you underwater. So great resource, but I'm going to honor her decision to go ahead and do this and leave it that way. And yeah, we'll just kind of work with it. Now, the last thing. Hey, let's say hello, I guess. Howdy. I'm recording a video. It's my standard thing. PE Moral's another friend of my grandson, so he's any and all possible years. Yeah. Thanks. Hopefully more than just you and me and the other participants. Lol. Okay. Anyway, so it's gonna be nighttime, isn't it? I'm gonna go to sleep. Let's see if PE Morrow goes to sleep. He's pretty good about it so far, I've noticed. Anyway, I discovered a way to get. Actually, you know about this if you watched my third video. What was that? I don't remember seeing that particle effect before, like little smoky I don't know what you call those fireball thingies. Let's see if P. Morrow's gonna go to sleep. Maybe not. Oh, that already happened. I didn't even notice. There's the green particle effects. I wonder if during it, when it turns to night, whether it's time, it'll just show that. I don't know what you call that. It's like a little fireball or spark. It's got smoke on it. Anyway, I was pondering of ways to get up to the upper village, including creating some kind of road that came along the outside of this plateau area. Obviously, probably P.E. Morrell built this direct staircase, kind of mirrors Foxy's staircase over here. But I came up with something that I like, and I'm going to work with that too, is there are a system of caverns that will take you from here right up to here, and I will walk it with you. I lit them up. Oh, baby llama, cute. It's like a cavern. It kind of starts here on partially above ground, intersects with this cavern and continues along this way. And here it just kind of breaches the outside of the plateau right at about this level. Actually, it moves this way and then it dead ends, but right above here another cavern kind of intersects. I just dropped these 3 blocks of dirt just to kind of connect it for now, and you follow this along. It's cold there. Well, that's really dark. Why is that so dark? Is that a lighting issue? Let me drop a torch here. Yeah, I think so. Should have been that dark. Alright. Anyway, you follow this cavern along this way, come down a tad, and then you come to this branch point. It continues on down there, but just with a little hop, skip, and a jump. You're suddenly right here. This cavern continues mostly above ground until it drops in again, but look at that. This road is terminated right here. Well, that's interesting. It doesn't take too much imagination to figure out, hey, I could just kind of curve this road over this way. So that's the long-term goal, is that through those series of caverns, we are going to build a road system that connects the lower village to the upper village, and you'll be able to take the road through the cavern. It will have half slabs, so it'll be a nice, comfortable forward key, journey up and down with no jumping. And yeah, it gets you up here. So here's our broken cropland, which makes for a waterfall. Here's the miner's residence. Now let's go ahead and let's redo this. I've decided to change the job title for transportation engineer to road builder. Road builders. Oops. Residence. Did P.E. Morrill just ride a horse off the edge of the cliff? Nice. Wow. Can you do that with a horse? That horse ain't gonna like break all its legs going down there. Amazing. Anyway, yeah, so that was kind of like my discovery and kind of exploring the surrounds. I was really hoping for something like this, that you could use caverns that were already spawned as kind of an elegant way to connect the lower and upper village. So I'm looking forward to gradually turning this cavern into a part of the village. Now, just to kind of end here, I want to show you that this cavern here continues on and it spills out right here on the south side of the village, with this whole plateau kind of wall just in the way. Let's walk back this way. So yeah, anyway, that is my summary of what was accomplished during round 6. Of course, that round ended with the research, in which I've really started to fill out the crafting research chest, where I'll officially discover all the various tools and items and whatnot. Oh, I'm gonna have some problems getting back in here. I'm gonna have to work on those gates. Oh, not gonna make it. Anyway, yeah, so I'm making progress. Got it. I'll have to put in a gate there. I'll make sure I do that. If we're going to have a real secure wall, then we're going to need to have gates that we could open and shut. So anyway, that concludes episode 6 and summarizes my work on round 6. I'm going to repeat this round process. I've got a list of a whole bunch of things to do for round 7. And I will make that list and get to work and come back with another episode. Until then, thanks for watching.